offensively. I'm excited to see hopefully what I think will be a slightly different offense. Obviously, it's going to have the same structure, same bones. But I think Callaway is going to have a little bit more of a say, and he comes from a more air raid style. So I think with that wide receiver room, you're going to get the ball pushed a little bit more downfield with a quarterback like DJ Lagway that can do it so successfly.
Speaking of the offensive coordinator, 1 second, Dave, because that's driven this show for the better half of these last 3 months. I mean, we were getting OC. It was going to be Lane Kiffin. It's a joke, guys. Then we weren't getting to OC. Then we promoted Russ Callaway, but we weren't. It was just a fake promotion. But now it seems like, and even kind of Walter alluded to that. Hey, he thinks the play calling is going to be handed off more than what may have been alluded when he in his presser that Billy spoke. And you just now said this. What's your why for that feeling? Why do you think that?
So Billy's always going to have his fingerprints on this offense. He will probably be the game day play caller for the most part. Now, when it comes to game planning and scheming and scripting drives, Russ Callaway is going to have a huge say. Obviously, Russ is going to be in the ear of Billy Napier the entire time because he's the offensive coordinator. And I think because he's been on staff for a few years, he's developed that trust with Billy. Russ is going to have a huge say in what goes on offensively. I mean, you don't strip a coach of their co-offensive coordinator title and give it solely to some.
You ever watch your favorite football team, whether college or NFL, and you see the hold? Where's the flag, ref? Where is it? You're calling, you're whistling, or sometimes it's the other way around. They call the hold, and you're like, open your eyes, ref. Well, now you get your chance to have your voice heard. With Penalty Verdict, you get to do all of that. With Penalty Verdict, you get to vote on penalties called in real time on both NFL and college football games. Engage with the community of football fans who desire fair play and accountability. Unlock the next dimension of sports by engaging with real-time polling of referees, players, and teams. View data-driven insights to help inform discussions about the game. Penalty Verdict is the development phase, and we would love to hear back from you. What features do you want to see in the app for next football season? Check out penaltyverdict.com/Hightop Sports to get in on the action. Now, listen, boys, you and I both know we have had our moments of hooting and hollering. Now's your time to speak up. We're giving you the platform. Take advantage of it.
Somebody else if they're not going to have a say. And Billy's worked with Rob Sale for a long time. That co-offensive coordinator title kind of helped him get a pay raise. Billy knew he was always going to be calling the plays. And that's how much Billy wanted him at Florida. But you don't strip that same person of the title you gave them to get them here and give it to somebody else if they're not going to actually have a say or actually have serious influence in what's going on offensively on Saturdays.
That move was bigger than you nailed it on the head. And I said it when it happened. You took away Rob Sale's title. You're taking away money from him and you're giving it no longer you're giving it strictly to Russ Callaway. So something he did in this past offseason and something that Rob did not do led to that. And like you said, you don't fully give that because even Rob Sale, he didn't even have offensive coordinator. He was co-offense with no other attached to him. And I kind of said that too. I was like, look, I think he's going to give him more. Another thing you said that I liked is that, look, Russ is going to have a big factor in building the game plan throughout the week. And then, look, and this is what concerns me, and I want to get your perspective on this. This is where I felt Billy struggled, though, was in in-game calling. His ability to kind of feel something out, make a big call during the game. But maybe if Russ can show and prove to him, hey, I've got this, maybe he'll can pipe into his ear some more. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think everybody's biggest gripe with Billy Napier as a play caller was lack of situational awareness, kind of lack of flow. There were certain times where you would see kind of something really be working, and then the next drive just goes completely away from it. I don't know if that was just to try and show defenses a different look or what have you. But that middle eight and then the situational awareness of the play calling with Billy Napier is obviously every Florida fan's biggest gripe. And I think that's why everybody was so dead set on you have to hire an offensive coordinator. Now they did, but they just did it from within. I think like we kind of already alluded to that Russ is going to have a bigger influence on this offense. And there could be times where Billy knows he needs to focus on something else and tells Russ, hey, you've got the game. Now, obviously, Billy's going to have the final say. It's probably going to be if Billy doesn't like what's going on, what's being radioed in or sent in, he could very well override and change it to something else. I don't know that I see that happening too terribly much, especially if this is something where he's going to start giving him the reins a little bit more.